Yeah, this is where the process starts, the first stage where you need to produce eggs, so we call it larvae. So flies just mate and lay eggs, and then we collect the eggs and then we take them for incubation in the fatcam. Let me show you some of the eggs, how the eggs look like. Sure, we got some.
So that is where they stay for 8 days.
Yeah, so these are some of the eggs. So they just fix their backs in here and lay eggs on this wood. Yeah, so these are some of the eggs. Yeah, so this is where they lay eggs. So they just fix their backs here and squish the eggs in there, and then yeah, so they'll just have 8 days purposely to just mate and lay these eggs, and then from there they'll just die. And then the circle will start afresh with the eggs. So you can see some of them here already. These already died after their 8 days.
So the eggs are harvested every 2 days, and this is how they look like. Very tiny, very, very tiny, almost impossible to notice. And then after this, we're gonna be taking them to the incubation where they now multiply.
Now we take this part of waste, then we'll go to incubate the eggs we've collected here. So what you do with the eggs, you just scrap them off into waste. So this is just food waste, as you can see. So just untie this very quickly. Okay. Now I'll be scrapping off these eggs. So this is what you scrap off into waste.
So maybe, can you tell us the type of material that should be used? The waste material that should be used to breed the black soldier fly eggs?
Yeah. So normally different farmers can use different materials to incubate, but for us we normally use just the normal food waste. We just have a shredder, we chop it off into very tiny pieces to increase surface area. Yeah, so then any kind of food waste, I mean like whatever you leave on your plate, in the kitchen, the vegetables that are the peels from fruits, so we just shred them and mix them together, and then that's what we prepare and put them here. So then we introduce the eggs, yeah, to hatch.
So they're going to be here for how long?
3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
What should we expect to see if we come after 3 days?
So after 3 days, on the waste, so you'll find these whitish, like you see this white stuff, very tiny ones. So these are the ones that are just hatched. You see a lot of them all over. So for 3 days, once they hatch, this is what they turn into. So the small larvae. So then from there you now split them, because these are so many, although they're tiny, there are quite a number of them, millions. So then we'll just split the tray and feed them into more feed. Yeah, whatever you collected. Then the number are so many. So like this, we can split into like 4 more trays. Then you feed them into waste. So when you're feeding, you ensure that the food does not go above 10 centimeters. So you just scoop part of it and then you just feed straight.
Maybe now you can show us the different development stage.
Yeah. So from there you see, like these ones are a bit older. So these ones are about. This one you see they're a bit older. So these are. So you just mixed up. So but these ones are now about 5-day-olds. So 5-day-olds will look something like this. Yeah. So these are now 5-day-olds that you now split and feed into more waste. So once you see that the numbers are many like this, they're trying to go into one corner, so they need more food. So these ones will need more splitting into more food waste. Yeah. Yeah. So Yeah, usually we do it at day 5.
Day 5?
Yeah,
Then,
we split them into more trays. So like now we pick them all on this. So like you see, these are for the same date. So from here all the way down.
this is day 5,
No,
no?
sorry, day 12.
Day 12.
Yes, these are grown really fat.
So at this stage, they are fully mature.
Yeah,
They are
fully
ready to be
mature.
fed to the poultry, to the animals you have here at the farm.
Yeah, these are ready.
So you've seen the different stages of the black soldier fly. So what we have here are the mature. What do we call this?
This is the larvae now.
The
It's
larvae
in
now.
instant. Yeah,
Yeah, and this is a very rich source of protein that you can feed to your poultry and other livestock that you have at the farm.
yeah. And you can see the frass, the manure, the black substance that you see left behind. So this is the frass. So this is very high in nitrogen, and then you use it to grow your plants. So this you collect between day 12 and 14.
So how do you separate the larvae from this will now end up to, this will be applied at the farm, right?
Yeah, yes.
As manure. Yeah. And then how do you separate the larvae from the waste?
So normally we have this strainer, so just a netting.
You sieve.
Yeah, you sieve them. So the frass will come out because to get drier, then the larvae will be left on top. Yeah. Alternatively, if the food is not very dry, so you just spread them out in sunlight, because this will just move down and try to avoid the light. So whatever, the frass will be left on top, and then the larvae will go down. Yeah. So.
Okay, so maybe you can show us how you feed the larvae to the poultry that you have around. You can see very healthy poultry. Okay.
So you need to take a short time if you're feeding them live to avoid them from going to the next stage. If you're feeding them to the chicken, about 5 days. Yeah, so you need them to feed them to the chicken before they develop the exoskeleton into when they are turning into pupa. So this will be, you'll be losing the protein content. So you feed them 5 days tops. But if you want to, if you're on a large scale, you just sun dry or use a steamer to dry them.
So what we have here under this shade net is a variety of vegetables, and like we said earlier, the farm is 100% organic certified, meaning they've not used any synthetic or chemicals or fertilizers, just the compost that we've seen. So what they've been doing is just trying to see the difference between the frass, that is the compost that has been gotten from the black soldier fly, as we've shown you the processes of composting, and then they also do the other normal composting for dry matters. So what they're trying to find out is to see if there is a difference in both manure, and Kevin is going to tell us more on that. Kevin, so you've been doing the normal composting, and we've also taken us through the process of the black soldier fly. Maybe you can tell us more. What is the difference that you've seen?
Yeah, so basically in composting, in terms of nutrients addition, so both are adding nutrients to the soil, and the plants, as you can see, they're growing very well. And then, yeah, both from the insects, and so this has been fed on the normal compost from worm composting. So, and then this has been fed on frass. So you can see both, we have the leaves are very green, and the fruits are coming up. Yeah. Here under this shade net, you can see a variety of salads. So we grow them healthy greens purposely for our guests here at the lodge restaurant. Yes, so we have this also fruit trees. We now growing tree tomatoes, and from there you can see spinach, lettuces, and mustard leaves. Yeah, so both for the eaten as salads there, because they're grown with the natural way, with the nutrients from organic nutrients. So as you can see, these are the two variety of manure we produce. This has been produced from the insects, so this is the frass now. You can see how fine it is. And then this we've got from, this other one we've got from now the normal hot composting and using worms. So they have both been, they're both gone through the organic process, and these are very nutritious for our plants.
So let me ask, what is the most effective of using this compost? Is it during planting, or do you keep applying it over the production season?
So what we normally do each time we harvest and we want to plant, so we prepare the bed and mix the nutrients with the soil. Then they will provide the plants with enough nutrients for growth in that season. Yeah, so we apply at the beginning of planting, yeah, so that the plants can get nutrients all that time. Yeah.
Okay, so you've had it. You use the compost to feed the soil. In return, the soil will feed the plant. Unlike in other ways where we use synthetic fertilizer, we directly feed the plant. So this is why compost is a more better way, environmentally friendly way of growing your plants.
So as you can see, it's also very important to boost your plants with the more nutrients. Yeah, so what Joshua is doing now is adding more nutrients after we've planted with the nutritious manure. So we still add more to boost on the nutrients in the soil. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see the salads here that we've grown are very organic and nutritious. Yeah, don't panic, it's organic. Yeah, no worries of chemical residues or any.
Like we've seen earlier, there are two types of composting happening here. There is the one that we've just shown you where they are using the insects to compost, and we brought you now to the other segment where they are using the worms. So let's get to learn the difference between the two.
Yeah, so this here is now our worm bed. So we are composting with worms, and these worms are called red wrigglers. And yeah, so these are top feeders, and they're used to add the biology into the nutrients. Yeah, so you see here the beds, we just keep adding more nutrients from the hot composting. So we're feeding the worms with the organic waste from gardens, from kitchen. Yeah, so whatever you're feeding on the worm beds, so keep turning them, and then this is the final process to add the biology into the nutrients. Yeah, so the main difference between worms and the insect is that the black soldier fly insect are not selective in terms of the organic waste. So since worms are a bit selective in terms of the kitchen waste, you don't want to feed them on very spicy organic waste. So the worms are the insects are fed on a wider range of organic product as compared to the worms.